Hi everyone and welcome to a new video. In this weekly update we'll take a look at the farms that I'm currently in, which ones that I'll be entering next week, and what changes that I'll be doing to my current strategy. If you're interested in that, be sure to hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe at the end of the video. Alright, let's get started. So let's go first over all the farms that I'm still in. Currently that is only Qi Dao. As you can see, I still have my Qi liquidity pair and my USDC pair, so I have $1,000 in the stable coins and about $1,300 in the my Qi farming token or governance token. It seems that it continues to hover above that $1 mark, so we are between $1,200 and $1,400 when it comes to liquidity value, and I'm farming about $7 each day. When it comes to strategy, it remains the same, so I'm taking the Qi that I'm earning on a daily basis and I'm putting it in the booster. I've locked up my booster up until Monday, October the 4th, which gives me currently an APY of 200%, which is not too bad. So depending on how it's going to evolve, I will continue this strategy or maybe increase it. The second farm that I'm in is of course Polygon Finance. I've got the bulk of my farming funds in here, so it's almost $15,000. Initially I had some coin in the PA-USDC pool, but the PA token started to dump, so I pulled out that liquidity and I kept the rest. So right now I'm just reinvesting the profits that I have for the PA token and I'm putting it in the PA-USDC liquidity pair. Other than that, I still have my Fish USDC liquidity pair, my DAI Matic, USDC Matic, and my DAI USDC. Now when it comes to Polygon Finance, as you can see, the APR is definitely still very interesting, but there is a catch. As you can see right now, I could harvest almost $70, and that is in 24 hours, which is definitely nice. But like I said, there is a catch, sadly. All the tokens that you farm are being vested. This should prevent the PA token from dumping right away. On top of that, there was a little issue with the contract, so right now we have vesting old and vesting new. When it comes to vested tokens, as you can see, I have $360 worth of PA tokens that I farmed in the old setup, if we can call it that way. That gives me about $12 in the past 24 hours that I can claim. But that also means that I still have about $240 still locked up until the end of the term, which is 90 days. 90 days, 20 days and 21 days. So that's still a very long time in crypto farm world. Next we have the new vesting schedule. So I farmed 570 PA tokens, so at current value that is 787. So right now I already farmed $1,000 worth of PA tokens. Of these tokens I was able to sell $85 worth of PA tokens, and there is still almost 500 PA tokens locked up for almost all of them for almost 30 days, which again is a very long time. So today I can farm $25 worth, which is definitely not bad if you combine this with the vested old tokens and the Qi Dao tokens. Then I'm farming roughly $50 each day. When it comes to PA tokens, I'm of course converting my old PA tokens to the new one. And then I'm reinvesting the PA tokens in a PA USDC liquidity pair. Next, we'll deposit these tokens into the PA USDC pool and we'll continue to hyper compound. When it comes to total value locked overall in the Polygon Finance system, yesterday we had about 148,728,000, and right now we still have 148,784,000 locked up. So that is pretty stable if you ask me. When it comes to Qi Dao, we had a slight decrease. There we had 19.2 million and right now we have 18.7, so I'll have to keep an eye on that one. When it comes to tokens, let's take a look at the fish tokens. So as we all know, they stopped minting fish tokens, so we have reached the total supply. And it seems like it has been pretty stable around that $5 mark since over a month. So I'm pretty happy with that, so I have no problem leaving my fish tokens in that pool. When it comes to the PA token, there isn't that much history yet. Of course, in the beginning we saw a big dump, then it went up again. So it will be interesting to see how it evolves in the upcoming week. Depending on how that evolves, I will keep putting PA tokens in that PA USDC liquidity pool. Because I pulled the PA USDC that I initially put into the farm at Polygon Finance, I still have some USDC left. So let's take a look at which farm we can park it into next. As usual, I put a filter on Polygon and then low risk, and that gives me this result. I went over all of these and I took a look at the ones that I find most interesting. So the first one we're going to take a look at is the Polypub farm. As you can see, we already have 3 iterations of it. I did invest in the first one, so the layer 1, the layer 2, and I haven't invested in layer 3. If I'm also recalling correctly, one of the viewers did point out that there was a new layer going on. So thanks again for pointing that out. When it comes to the farm itself, we can see that we have limited options. Right now, the APR MATC-USDC pool is better than the returns that I'm getting at Qi Dao themselves. However, I have to pay that 4% fee, and at 70% annually, this means that I will have to leave the tokens in there for quite some time before I have a return and before I have that 4% back. And since the market is moving up and I'm planning to sell my stablecoin liquidity anyway, I'm not going to invest into this one. And then, of course, we have the native farm tokens, which is the new ball token. So we have ball USDC and ball APR Matic. And then, of course, we have the old ones, which is bone USDC. So the bone token is from the previous farm, the layer 2. And then, of course, we have the pub token from the layer 1 farm. So if you still have those tokens, it might be interesting to put them in here. Otherwise, I don't think it's a good plan to buy those tokens. But yeah, do your own research. None of this is financial advice. Next, we have Hermes. They have a Paladin audit. It looks good on Rugdoc. They have 500,000 locked in value. It's not that much, but it's acceptable. Earn up to 1.4k APR. That sounds nice. But when you look at the farms, they only have a farm for their own token. So I'm not going to jump into this one. Next up, we have EBSwap. Fun design, pretty classic layout. Of course, good returns on the farm tokens themselves, but also nice returns on the APR MATC-USDC. A bit better than on the Polycat Finance. However, when we look at the liquidity of their own token, so the one that we're going to be farming and selling on a daily basis, the total liquidity is pretty low. We then take a look at how the liquidity evolved. It seems that they got started on August the 14th, so we're a little bit late. They had their peak on the 18th and then it really dumped and it continued to go down from there. So that is why I'm going to skip this one as well. Next up, we have Polyshield. They really did an effort to make a new and original design, not just copy the one that everybody is using. They also have a Paladin audit and the Rugdoc review, and they also have a Haze audit. So it seems that these guys are taking their own project seriously, which of course is a good sign. When it comes to the farms, we can see that their own token has some good liquidity. So we have 300,000 liquidity available in the Shield Matic pair and also almost 300,000 available in the Shield USDC pair. Personally, I'm not interested in buying the Shield token, so I'll be looking at the other farms. USDC Ethereum looks very good. The APR is nice. And of course, you have that classic 4% fee, but with an APR of almost 300%, this 4% fee is not an issue. You just have to leave it in there for about 4 or 5 days and you'll have your 4% fee back. Next we have Matic Quick, that's looking even better. And then even the USDC USDT farm is looking really good if you only want to farm the stable coins. Now when it comes to an evolution in liquidity, it seems that we are a bit late to the party as well. So they started in the beginning of August. They had a really nice and healthy run up all the way up until the 18th and now it started going down. This is again a trigger for me not to buy the Shield token itself and just to farm it and sell it on a daily basis, not to hold on to it and not to hyper compound that token. So I am going to invest a little bit of liquidity into Polyshield probably tomorrow. I'm just going to wait and see what happens with Bitcoin. If we continue moving up, then I think we can be pretty sure that the bull run is back on, and I'll be selling my stablecoin pairs on both Qi Dao and on Polycat Finance, and I'll put them in USDC wrapped ETH right here, compound rewards on a daily basis, and then sell the Shield token that I'm farming, and I'll just keep an eye on liquidity and then decide on how long I'll continue to be in this farm. Next up is Sandman. They launched yesterday, so it's very early, and they have almost 1 million total value locked, so I'll be definitely tracking this total value locked. When it comes to the farms, I really like the MATC-USDC liquidity pool. We have over 300% APR, so we should be able to recover our 4% cost in 4 days. And since we're very early, I think this is definitely realistic. So I'll be moving my MATC-USDC tokens that I have over at Polycat Finance, and I'll put them in here because, yeah, we have doubled the APR. So I think that is worth moving the tokens. When it comes to liquidity, this of course is not very high, but it's still acceptable. You should be able to sell your Sandman tokens on a daily basis easily with this amount of liquidity. But again, we'll have to keep an eye on the total value locked and make sure that the liquidity of this token is going up, so we can still sell our Sandman token, because there is no use in farming a token that you can't sell. When it comes to other chains, I also started farming or liquidity providing for EDEN. So EDEN is the new version of Archer DAO. So Archer DAO is a project focused on MEV protection. So they want to create technologies that prevent you from being front-run and so forth. So this is definitely interesting. Of course, there are many projects out there like this, like the Mist project as well. But Archer DAO is one of the first. And right now they're rebranding themselves from the Archer DAO to EDEN. So EDEN is their new token, and this is why they need liquidity, and they have this liquidity program. So they started in the beginning of the month, then they had a big dump off of their token, and now it is going back up. Now, because the EDEN token isn't really a farm token, I do believe it will hold its value much better than all of the farm tokens. So that is why I have invested some money in there. As of right now, we still have almost 200% APR, and this after almost a month of farming, which of course is very impressive. Sadly, this is on the Ethereum mainnet. Gas fees are insane. So if I would want to hyper compound, I would have to unlock them on a daily basis, sell half, then provide liquidity again and lock them in a contract again. And this will probably at current gas fees cost me about $100 per day. And of course, I am not farming $100 a day worth of tokens. So these are the tokens that I farmed in about a little over 1 week, maybe 2 weeks. I forgot when I started. So yeah, this is definitely not enough to pull the rewards and put them back in. So unless you really have a lot of money invested, you could do this. Maybe if somebody knows an auto farm for this, let me know, because that would be interesting, of course. If you can pool all the funds together and then pay one transaction fee, then it makes sense. But right now, if you have to do it yourself, I think you have to invest 100,000 worth of liquidity tokens in order to compensate for that daily fee if you want to hyper compound the tokens. So yeah, sadly not for me, but maybe some of you have enough capital to do this. Either way, almost 200% APR is definitely interesting. Then the last piece of news that I want to give you guys is, of course, the Avalanche Foundation announces 180 million DeFi incentive program, and this together with Aave and Curve. So basically the same thing that we've seen on the Polygon Matic network is now going to happen on the Avalanche network. So if you're able to pick up some AVAX tokens, or if you still have some AVAX tokens, my suggestion is hold on to them. Keep an eye on the Avalanche social media channels and make sure that you jump into the liquidity pools as soon as they become available. Sadly, in this post there is no exact date yet, so you'll just have to keep an eye on all the social media channels. And of course I will be retweeting it on my Twitter as well. So if you don't follow me yet, go to the Investor Bren Twitter and follow me, because I'll definitely be retweeting the message as soon as it comes out when you can start farming on Avalanche. Alright, that's it for this weekly update. If you enjoyed it, be sure to hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that notification bell, and please post a comment. It can be as simple as saying hi, thank you for the video, or whatever you want to say, because that will help push the video in the YouTube algorithm. Thanks again, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.